I'd like to call this meeting of the Festus City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Here.
Councilman Underwood, Councilwoman Templeton,
Here.
Councilman Weiner,
Here.
Councilman Dennis, Councilman Venz,
Here.
Councilman Cook,
Here.
Councilman Tennant.
We do have a full quorum. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. And tonight's warrants total $146,462.10.
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Underwood,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Tennant,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Venz,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Motion passes. Remarks of visitors.
We received none.
We have none. Bids, fire department. Chief?
Looking at putting a new epoxy on the bay floors at the firehouse. It's been 11 years. So this will redo they have to grind them down to the concrete, remove everything and re-epoxy them. We had $12,000 budgeted. We like to go with Archway Industrial. So my recommendation is for Archway Industrial for $9,531.
Any discussion?
Quick question, Chief. Since we're 3,000 under bid, is there anything additional that can be done for them floors that you want to do that we're not doing?
No, I think this pretty much takes care of it.
Chief, you had any work done by this company before?
They actually did it 11 years ago, same company.
Same company.
Yeah.
Held up good then?
Yeah, a hell of a lot better than I thought it would.
Okay.
Is there any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the bid of $9,531 from Archway.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Tennant,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Venz,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Underwood,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passes. Chief, have at it. Ordinances and resolutions. Tonight we have Bill 4642 for consideration. Would the city clerk please read the bill?
Bill number 4642, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, approving the plat of Twin Valley 811 Horine and establishing an effective date.
Staff report.
Mark Harris is on our call, our building and planning director, and also Jeff Obermeyer. Be able to answer any of your questions related to that. Mark, if you had anything you wanted to add to your staff report that was in the packet.
No, I believe the staff report should cover it pretty thoroughly. We had met with Jeff in between. The sketch plan was approved back in February, and we met with him a couple times in between, and he was extremely cooperative and brought together the sewer line and water lines actually out of the street to avoid a bunch of extra street cuts and set them into the easements. So we're limiting the amount of street cuts out there, which is great. He's going to do this in a couple phases as well to get a couple houses under construction and then complete the second phase, which would be all the homes.
So it's 811 or 911?
It's right across from me, Kevin.
Oh, the cross street.
Across the street from me, yeah. I made 16. Hey, Mark,
Yes, sir.
you know which end is he gonna start on? Like the end up the northern end or I guess like this southern end or what?
He wants to start, and Jeff can chime in here anytime, but on the north end, there's 2 lots on the north end. They're kind of by themselves to get started there, while the development goes on with the stormwater control and such on the south end.
He's gonna be tearing
Yeah,
down that other house, right?
Correct. The existing home is going to stay. The plan is for lots 1 and 2 to be included in phase 1 to begin soon, and then work would begin on the sewer and water lines for the other lots while we're building on lots 1 and 2.
Lots 1 and 2 being the far north ones around the corner.
Far north. Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, I apologize. I meant to catch up with you. I didn't see additional street lighting on this plan. Is that correct?
No, he's not actually doing any street improvements other than, well, really none.
Right. I was just concerned with the additional houses on the curb there with the sidewalk. 'Cause I
Mike, if
think-
you recall here 2 years ago, we did have one installed about the midpoint of this development before it goes around the turn.
Is there any other discussion? If not, do I have a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4642 for the second time in title only?
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4642 for the second time?
Bill number 4642, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, approving the plat of Twin Valley, 811 Horine, and establishing an effective date. Councilman Tenen,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Venz,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Underwood,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Yes.
Bill 4642 has passed.
Thank you all.
And also tonight, we have Bill 4643 on the agenda. Would the clerk please read the bill for the first time?
Bill number 4643, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, amending the zoning map of said city as established by the planning and zoning ordinances of the City of Festus, Missouri, and establishing an effective date.
May we have a staff report, please?
As we mentioned, Mark's on the call, so Steve McCleary and Todd Mosher with Discount Tire are on the call as well. But Mark, if you want to lead things off.
Yeah, happy to. This is the old Tanglefoot restaurant, and they're proposed build a Discount Tire there. Was only be allowed in a B4, and so they went to rezone it from B2 to B4, which was unanimously approved for recommendation from P&Z.
Is there any discussion?
Hey, Mark or Greg, does that fit what the map we're trying to do over there? Is that a?
And it's interesting because clearly, as you can see in the picture that's on the screen, it's our highway commercial zone. Gannon, I think when it was originally set up and originally developed, it was put under a B2, which is just kind of a general commercial district. But clearly, based on the location of the lot, it abuts I-55 that the highway zone usage works well there as well.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, Could I have a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4643 for the second time?
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4643 for the second time?
Bill number 4643, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, amending the zoning map of said city as established by the planning and zoning ordinances of the City of Festus, Missouri, and establishing an effective date. Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Underwood,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Tinnon,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Benz.
Yes.
Bill 4643 has passed.
Thank you all very much. Everybody have a nice week and stay cool.
All righty. See you, Mark. Also tonight, we have a resolution 4643 and a half on the agenda. Would the clerk please read the resolution?
Resolution number 4643 and a half, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, adopting the City of Festus Council Code of Conduct and establishing an effective date.
Resolution 4643 and a half is now open for discussion.
As discussed at our last meeting, the language changes respective to the chain of command incorporated and circulated that you had a chance to review here the last couple of weeks. And we tried to make the language a little more on the positive side as opposed to the negative side, specifically under council conduct with city staff, putting in the chain of command section, but also be mindful of productivity, that city staff is accessible to city council members, but council members should be mindful that city staff have assignments and duties to accomplish. Hopefully that addressed, I think, anyone's concerns that were brought up previously.
Is there any other discussion? If not, may I have a motion to approve resolution 4643 and a half?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Underwood,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis, Councilman Benz,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Tennant.
Yes.
Resolution 4643 and a half has passed. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the council. It's been a long time. I talked about this when I was a councilman on here, and we've all discussed it before. It was something that was needed, and I certainly appreciate the council's cooperation in passing this resolution. Any new business?
No, sir.
Any old business?
No, sir.
Mayor and council reports. Councilman Cook.
I have nothing to report, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Weiner.
Mark, would you mind giving us an update on the sidewalk over there at Birchwood, how that's coming along?
Be happy to. Actually, Jimmy was in the subdivision today. I'd notified you of the two homes on either side. The one on the north side is almost near completion. The one on the south side, southeast, they were getting ready to put siding on, and that actually started today. I contacted Link Latrell at the school to let them know that they were getting close to getting that put in. So whatever the school would need to do on their end as far as clearing out the brush, or if they're going to create any sort of apron and such on there. So still going forward, they're just, we wanted to make sure it was safe between the two buildings before we installed a sidewalk and opened it up to foot traffic.
Okay, so it's looking like it's on track for before school starts for that to be open then?
I would definitely believe so.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. As soon as they finish the siding, they'll have the ladders and scaffold off that side of the building. And that's actually at the point where they would be doing flat work anyway for the driveway for that house to the southeast. So at that point, that's when we expect it to proceed through there. They've already done some of the grading actually for the sidewalk. So
Seems like there's a lot of moving parts between the coordination between the school district and, the contractor over there. So I just would really, all of the council members would really like to see that done before school starts.
well, absolutely. And I believe it will be. It should be.
Sir.
You bet.
And Greg, one question also. How are we doing with our COVID cases right now?
As far as within the city,
Within the city.
we did have a couple pop up. It's been 10 days now. Those are the only two recently related to any staff.
Good. Okay. Very good. Thank you, sir. That's all I have.
All righty. Thank you. Councilman Dennis.
Nothing, sir.
Councilman Boyer.
Matt, how's the street projects going with filling out the potholes and different things?
The potholes are going well. The guys are keeping on top of those. It's we're just waiting for that annual street project to begin. The Joker's just probably going to be, if not, this week, probably next before they start working. So
Okay.
you'll see it popping off. As soon as I get a schedule, I'll distribute it to y'all so you can see where they're going to be and where not to drive for a while.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Thank you. Councilman Underwood.
I have nothing, sir.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Nothing, sir.
Councilman Venz.
Mr. Wendell, the homeless situation in this town. Do we have an ordinance on that? Every time you go to Walmart, you get right there, that crossing, they're bugging you. And then not only there, but other places.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, because this has come up here recently, and obviously there's been a recent ruling in St. Louis County specific to panhandling. That was a $150,000 judgment against the county. I think I got the numbers right there, Brian. If not, it's close. The city does not have the ability to enforce. One, we don't have one on the books, which is good. But as far as people being on corners, asking, soliciting, based on this recent ruling, that is Judge Limbaugh, I believe, out of St. Louis, ruled that is protected speech, and therefore we can't do anything about those folks that are on the corners, wherever you want to call it, at the intersections, things of that sort.
So then who's responsible when they want to be negligent and walk out and then you almost hit them? Are we going to be sued, or the city, or the person, or?
Well, Bobby, I have a degree of experience in this, and if the city wanted to solicit an engineering firm to study intersections around town and make a determination that the introduction of a walking person in front of a 45-mile-an-hour vehicle, other than common sense, but from an engineering perspective, that would be a bad idea. We could do that, but without any substantial engineering data to back up a ordinance that would prohibit that type of behavior, it would be challenged immediately by the ACLU and would be thrown out.
Yeah, I know. It's just a few people are getting aggravated every time they pull up to the stop signs and do things, and the people are just, they're just walking out or wanting or whatever. It just.
Right. I think I'm pretty much on the mark there as far as that recent ruling in St. Louis County, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think so. And what the court ruled is there are things you have ordinances on the books that you can enforce. It all just sort of depends on the conduct of what the person is doing. If they're just asking you for money, we can't have an ordinance that just says you can't ask for money because that's regulating speech, and the content of their speech determines whether it's prohibited. But if someone is threatening or something like that, you have an ordinance peace disturbance. I don't know if you have a walking on the roadway ordinance. There are some cities that do. Those can be crafted in a way to avoid a lot of the challenges, and if that's something the city is interested in. be happy to explore that for you.
Well, I mean, so we're just basically at their mercy, unfortunately, to sit there.
It's a First Amendment issue. It always has been. I mean, I'll just relay from my time prior to here. We had a group. In this particular instance, it was the Ku Klux Klan that wanted to hand out flyers at intersections, and that is protected speech. And they were able to step into traffic to try to hand flyers out to people. Same here if you're asking for, some money as a donation because you're homeless. It works the same way. So without a comprehensive review of intersections in town by a qualified engineer that could make a determination that we could base an ordinance on, I would strongly recommend that we just stay away from it. I mean, I know it's annoying.
Yeah, I mean, they're popping up a lot of places, not just here in Festus, but they're all over. But I didn't know if people were asking. I just told my I'd find out what I could find out. And
it's a tough one because I mean, some of those are legitimate. I mean, those folks are asking for help, and some people are willing to give that help. Some folks maybe aren't as legit, and I mean, you really can't make that call while you're waiting for the light to turn green, but or for an opening in traffic. But it's certainly in light of the recent ruling that affected St. Louis County, it would be tough water to wade into.
Another thing for you, I've seen you either emailed us or text us about on Main Street. I think one of the businesses were aggravated. They were standing in the stop, and we said we had no ordinance on the record. I thought we did have something because the one place that's arguing that don't want us standing in front of their shop. I thought we always said
we had gotten a call over the weekend. Was it last week or 2 weekends ago? Kevin, you called me on it 2 weeks.
Last weekend.
And it was shop with a cop. And they were on our roadblock schedule. So they were doing exactly what they were supposed to be doing, when they were supposed to be doing it, where they were supposed to be doing it, and it was approved by council. So the person that was complaining was under the impression that we had passed something recently that banned that. What we did pass was the approval of the roadblock schedule.
I thought it was more where they were standing because
No, they were at the intersection of Main and Mill.
Right, but the ones in front of this flower shop, they said they didn't want to stand in front of that one. You could stand at the other three spots, but they didn't. That's the one.
We don't have a restriction like that.
Well, I remember Happy came to us a long time ago. Right, but I remember when Happy came to us that time and asked us about that.
I think that's the point. I mean, I've seen them put cones up there too, and I don't know what the legality of that is either.
Yeah, I just remember that when Happy came to us a long time ago and they wanted that spot, not for us standing in front of there, but they didn't mind the other three spots. There was something about they didn't. That's what I thought you were talking about that day.
No.
And because I just remember that came to us, to the council a while back, and I thought that's what you were referring to.
No.
Okay. And then changing gears, Fifth Street looks really nice now with the light poles up, and the street is beautiful. And the way Jokers is flying on 3rd Street, hell, that could be done by the school year, the way that damn thing's flying. I mean, man, that is nice. And a lot of compliments I've heard, people just bragging. I mean, they are really loving, and then, like I said, 3rd Street just coming right along with this weather we're having. So, and hopefully that can keep it up. So, I said, I did that. I think that's it. I hope.
Thank you, Councilman Tenen.
The only thing I have is, Doug, maybe you can look into this. So my office is on Main Street, so I see all this traffic, and I'm not kidding you. Every once in a while, you hear this big burnout and somebody's going down Main Street. It looks like 60, 70 miles an hour. And if somebody just opened a car door and stepped into the line, it would be dead, So I don't know if we can get some more patrol there.
Or any certain time of day that's happening more than anything else, or is it just kind of sporadic?
You know what, and that's the whole problem. I mean, it's just random. But it does happen probably, I'm not in my office that much, but it happens at least once a week when I'm around. But I know it would be hard to pinpoint a time. And then the other question I have is maybe we can get a little bit more patrol in some of the newer subdivisions, because we're starting to see some more stealing and things going on.
I'll leave it up for them. See what I can do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's all I got. Thanks, guys.
All righty, thank you. We are currently in orange. But the number of cases rose by 7, was it?
50%.
By 50%. And we're getting close again. The ordinance that we had passed earlier has expired. But we do go to red. City administrator and I have the authority to close public places, our parks, and, out front here and out front of Fifth Street. But we may need to relook at that ordinance again if this keeps rising, and what steps we're going to need to take. So just be thinking about it. And by all means, please wear masks. My wife makes me double mask when we go into some place. This D variant is much worse, much more contagious than the first variant. And we all need to be careful. Our employees need to be careful and be aware of where they're at, and whether they need to be masked or not. If there's 2 in a truck, we need to have them with their face protectors. And we just have to be careful.
Does that apply if you've been vaccinated?
Our current policy that we have at least posted on our public spaces is in accordance to the CDC, which is for vaccinated, a mask is optional, and we're encouraging non-vaccinated visitors and staff to please mask up. We're not requiring it, but we are encouraging.
I look at it too, but I look at it about once a week. If you're vaccinated, continue on.
Yeah,
So it likes to always treat the subject with me too.
but if it keeps getting higher and higher, we're going to have to take some steps. It may not be popular, but we'll take whatever steps we need to. Having said that, I think that's all the things I need to talk about. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries.